Alright, so if you bought an ignition harness off eBay, which I did, I bought this harness with 2 keys and a gas cap and all that happy shit. It had a white plug-in on the end, and all of these wires are different colors than the stock ignition harness. I took the plug off and tested for the resistor, but I couldn't find resistance between any of the wires. It's like these key switches don't have one. But if you can see here, we got just a regular orange, a regular black, a regular red. Then you got a red with a white tracer. You got a brown with a white tracer and a black with a white tracer. On the original ignition, you got this thick orange wire right there. You got a gray wire. You got a brown wire. You got a red wire. Then you got an orange wire with a yellow tracer. Kind of hard to see because I've got mine painted, but yeah, orange wire, yellow tracer, and then this one is a black wire with a white tracer. So odds are, if you have your eBay ignition with the white plug right here that has no resistor, if you come down to your other side and you put the resistor between this black wire with the white stripe, and then on my bike, on the harness, it's an orange wire with a red stripe. This guy, I don't know, it's hard to see, but that guy right, it'll focus right there with the red stripe. If you do the red stripe, or the orange with the red stripe and the black with the white stripe, if you cut them and put your resistor in between those 2 wires, your crappy eBay ignition with the white plug-in that you bought will probably work. Basically, that wire needs the resistor in it. My resistor is actually right in here, inside this wire, whatever, loom stuff, shrink wrap. They're pretty cheap. I bought like 100 of them for $6 off Amazon. But that's what you need right there. If anybody wants one of these, you send me a couple bucks, I'll mail you one. Because obviously I have a lifetime supply and then some. Otherwise you get them off eBay for $6. But anyways, that wire, when you do this mod from the black with white stripe to the orange with either a yellow or a red stripe, depending on what end you do it on, what you're doing is sending power to the ECU, and when you put the resistor in it, it knocks it down from like 12 volts to like 8.5. And that's what the bike needs to see. The ECU needs to see that 8.5 volts to send spark and to send fuel. I don't think the fuel pump kicks on with that wire without it being resisted. But anyways, that black wire with the yellow or red stripe ends up coming right to here. My wires suck and they're all painted and old and shit, but that wire will go right to the ECU. So if you actually poke your voltmeter in there and test it, you can test and see how much power you're getting. If you're getting the 12 volts, your bike won't run. If you get the 8.5, it definitely will. I also bought a DC voltage converter, something like that. This little guy. It was like a couple bucks on Amazon. But basically you put 12 volts in, and then it's got these little buttons, and you can send whatever voltage you want back out. I use that to test them. I'll just run that right to the battery, and then I'll knock it down to 8.5 volts, and then my bike will start. But yeah, with my old ignition, you could do whatever you wanted, and it would turn on. I wouldn't get fuel pump. I wouldn't get spark. Crank forever until I finally did this mod. And with the way my bike was when I bought it, it had some kind of little black box that was wired up into the taillights, and it had a switch to turn the taillight on and off, which I still have the switch, but I got rid of that black box, and that's what fucked my bike to begin with. Is I had this black box that was actually using the brown wire from the ignition, and it was feeding the taillights and my immobilizer for my ECU, and so it was working that way. And after I ripped all that shit out and rewired my taillight, my bike never started, and it took me like a year to figure it out that that ECU needs less voltage to run. So that's where I'm at. But if this video helped you, give it a thumbs up. I have a lot of other videos on this same little kind of deal. I've got a couple videos on how to test the pulse generator that's down there. I didn't make any videos on how to test the coils, but it's a really, really rare occasion that all 4 coils are bad. So if you don't get any spark across all 4 of them, it's probably this ignition deal or your pulse generator. Some people forget too that the bike will crank without spark if, what is it? I can't remember if it's the clutch. It's either the clutch switch or the kickstand switch. I just unhooked my clutch switch. I just unbolted it and just leave it right there, and it starts. My kickstand switch was right here, but I just wired it together. If you just twist the wires together and solder it or whatever, it'll run. These are the wires for the pulse generator. They're also green and black for anybody that didn't know. But yeah, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe for more, subscribe for more. I'll definitely make some more videos trying to help you guys get your bikes running.